There's nothing in our book, the Quran, as you call it, Quran, teaches us to suffer peacefully. Our religion teaches us to be intelligent, be peaceful, be courteous, obey the law, respect everyone. But if someone puts his hand on you, send them to the cemetery. It's a good religion. In fact, that's that old-time religion. That's the one that Ma and Pa used to talk about. An eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth, and a head for a head, and a life for a life. That's a good religion. And then anybody, no one resents that kind of religion being taught but a wolf who intends to make you his meal. This is the way it is with the white man in America. He's a wolf, and you a sheep.
My earliest recollection is of being snatched awake in the middle of the night because our house was on fire. And my father, a militant Baptist minister and follower of Marcus Garvey, preached race pride and separation from the white man. The Lansing arm of the Ku Klux Klan warned him to stop preaching Garvey's message. But my father was not a frightened Negro, and he kept on. Next thing, he was found with his head bashed in, lying across the streetcar tracks. A trolley had nearly cut him in half. After my father's death, my mother couldn't find work because the Christian people of Lansing wouldn't hire the widow of a crazy nigger. We stole to stay alive. It was too much for her. They put her in a mental institution and parceled out us kids to reform schools, charities, and homes.
We invested 310 years of slave labor. 310 years, every day of which your and my mother and father worked for nothing. Not 8 hours a day. There was no union in that day. They worked from sun up until sundown. From can't see in the morning until can't see at night. They never had a day off. And on Sunday they were allowed to sit down and sing about when they died, they wouldn't be slaves no more. When they died.
This is our investment. This is our contribution, our blood. Not only did we give of our free labor, we gave of our blood. Every time he had a call to arms, we were the first ones in uniform. We died on every battlefield the white man had. We have made a greater sacrifice than anybody who's standing up in America today. We have made a greater contribution and have collected less.
Don't let the white man speak for you, and don't let the white man fight for you.
Well, I think to teach a man to hate himself is much more criminal than teaching him to hate someone else. And look at you. Who taught you to hate yourself?
Well, I got the books right here, and they're open to each and every brother, complete inspection. Get your hands off of that thing there. So you want to see the financial books, huh?
Yeah.
Well, there he is. There he is. You done see them. The meeting's adjourned.
What makes the so-called Negro unable to stand on his own 2 feet? He has no self-confidence. He has no proud confidence in his own race. Because the white man destroyed your and my past, destroyed our knowledge of our culture. And by having destroyed it, now we don't know we have any achievement, any accomplishment. And as long as you can be convinced that you never did anything, you can never do anything.
Christian religion has failed. Your leaders of that religion has failed. Thank you. Now the government of America has failed you. You have no justice coming from no one. Right.
Well, number one, he teaches us that that never was.
Elijah Muhammad for Malcolm was the way out.
That went into the God.
Elijah Muhammad represented for Malcolm justice. Elijah Muhammad represented for Malcolm strength. And so Malcolm took on the theology of Elijah Muhammad. What was the theology? Number one, Elijah Muhammad taught that God wasn't a spirit, but God was a man named Fard Muhammad, whom his worship people were gods. Elijah Muhammad taught the black man and black woman to do for self.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent and the Merciful, to whom all praises is due.
Muhammad makes it imperative that a black man who becomes a Muslim works.
Right.
Get off the welfare.
Right.
Get out of that compensation line.
Right.
Be a man.
Right.
Earn what you need for your own family.
Right.
Then your family respects you.
Right.
They are proud to say, that's my father.
Right.
She's proud to say, that's my husband. Father means you're taking care of those children.
Right.
Just because you made them, that don't mean you're a father. Anybody can make a baby.
Right.
But anybody can take care of it.
Right.
Anybody can go and get a woman, but anybody can't take care of a woman. So husband means you are taking care of your wife. Father means you are taking care of your children. You are accepting the responsibilities of manhood. This is the type of teaching that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, and this white press has got the nerve to point at him as a hate teacher.
My name is James 52A. My people have been robbed of their names, their language, and their culture by the white man. Therefore, we use this X, which represents the unknown. This X nullifies our slave name. And until Allah or the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gives us our correct name, we will use the X.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that it is time for you and me to stand up for ourselves. It is time for you and me to see for ourselves. It is time for you and me to hear for ourselves. And it is time for you and me to fight for ourselves. We don't need anybody today speaking for us, seeing for us, or fighting for us. We'll fight our own battles with the help of our God. As long as you are addicted to the vices of the white man, when you call on God, God doesn't hear your prayer. And the white man knows it. But the white man also knows that when you clean yourself up, straighten yourself up, and get on God's side and call on God, God has got to answer your call. Stealing runs rampant in Harlem. Gambling runs rampant in Harlem. All types of evils and vices that tear apart our community run rampant in Harlem. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad doesn't condemn the victim. He goes to work on the victim. He doesn't say that all of you should go to jail because you have fallen victim to the evils that white man has brought into the community. He teaches you and me the religion that God has given to him as the only cure for the evil habits the white man has brought here among us.
I'm the best example of what he can do to reform delinquency and criminal characteristics in any person.
Why are you an example of rehabilitation?
Well, those of you who know my own history know that prior to becoming a Muslim, I was an extreme delinquent.
I was into everything that the white police and gangsters left over for the black criminal. I was into numbers, bootleg liquor, hot goods, women, dope. I sold the bodies of black women to white men and white women to black men. I steered white people from downtown to whatever kind of sin they wanted in Harlem. And I'll tell you, my best customers were always the officials, top police, clergymen, businessmen. Despite the fact that my own father was murdered by whites, I was blind enough to mix and socialize with them. I considered them gods and goddesses until Mr. Muhammad opened my eyes and enabled me to see them as a filthy race of devils. We stole to stay alive. I was caught when I was 21 and sentenced to 10 years in prison. That's where I first heard the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and they turned me around. Because the statement, the white man is the devil, just clicked. It explained everything. Hire the widow of a crazy nigger. It struck me like a blinding light. You've got to be realistic, Malcolm. You're a nigger. You're a nigger. You're a nigger. I fell on my knees and pledged to Allah